You have found Life in the 1900s Newspapers. In today's video, you will see a compilation of 60s groovy newsreels. Before we start our 1960s newsreels, let's look back to the history of the newsreel.
For more than 20 years, until the beginning of television, Americans saw the outside world through the eye of a newsreel camera. Before each Hollywood feature, the newsreel brought images of disaster, violence, and the absurd. A kitchen table, perfect for entertaining, and after the guests are gone, just cover the attached stove, lift the tabletop, and here's a beautiful bathtub. Slide the tub out, and you're ready to bathe. Bulletproof materials developed by Toledo's glass companies were a regular source of newsreel invention stories, and there was a steady stream of people willing to trust the glass for a chance to be in the movies.
Proof that the female of the species is just as daring as the male.
Bud and Luke's restaurant. The famous restaurant where one could be insulted.
For years, the Bud and Luke restaurant attracted people with their circus atmosphere that included mistreating their customers in every conceivable way. No one ever knew how their food would be delivered, or how their cream would be served, or what other plans the waiters might have dreamed up for them.
Now this is a ketchup. They squirt ketchup on this man's head, then they put the plunger on it. As a matter of fact, they couldn't get the plunger off. They had to punch a hole in it.
About once a week, the waiters would throw someone out of the restaurant.
Caught with silverware in his pockets. And they had a habit of filling your pockets before you left, and then they'd catch you outside.
An early attempt at central air conditioning caught Mike's eye in 1934. An entire office moved into a huge refrigerator for a week during a summer heat wave. A shopping trip with a pet pig was a natural. Mike followed with his camera as the pig went in and out of stores and stopped for a snack.
Prince Mikilikais straps on his rocket invention that is to upset the old technique of ice skating. The rockets, filled with high explosives, are ready, and the prince gets away with a bang. It takes more than snow to quench the fire of genius.
In the past, newsreel cameramen would only get paid if the studios thought they had something they wanted to use. So, there was a lot of fake news going on. If you stay tuned to the end of this video, you'll see the confessions of a 1930s newsreel cameraman of how he, let's say, used artistic license to have some novelty news for the studios. And be sure to look for my next video, in which we'll be reading a newspaper from the 1920s.
There are rumors around that this is Britain's revenge for the Boston Tea Party. 3,000 screaming teenagers are at New York's Kennedy Airport to greet, you guessed it, the Beatles. This rock and roll group has taken over as the kingpins of musical appreciation among the younger element. Some music critics call their harmony unmistakably diatonic. Others say it's pandiatomic. Parents say it's just plain pandemonium. Their first meeting with the American press brings forth an interview laced with quips and humor. You'd laugh, too, with a gross of $17 million last year. New York City cops are hard-pressed protecting the Beatles at their hotel. On every side, there is hero worship that recalls the heydays of Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. With one Beatle bedded with a sore throat, 3 of the quartet take an airing in Central Park. There was absolutely no truth to the rumor that the zoo's laughing hyena was driven underground.
This next 1960s newsreel includes a new invention.
This is the DO-31, a new prototype aircraft capable of vertical takeoff and landing. The world's first of transport size. 6 Rolls-Royce engines give it lifting thrust, while 2 Bristol Pegasus engines power its horizontal flight. Dubbed the Big Rig, it can go straight up from the ground, independent of conventional airport runways, like these at Oberpfaffenhofen. Where else? During the first test flight, the craft also demonstrates hovering turns, a boon to jet-jammed airports. Look, Ma, no runway space. Austrian fashions on display in New York on their way to Expo 67, the World's Fair in Montreal. Functional knits are accented. A sporty 3-piece ensemble, also knitted, has pleated skirt, blouson, and top. It's by Marvien. Franz Kugler designed this pantsuit ensemble, practical yet flamboyant, sort of Viennese mod. In the spotlight, a unique Egyptian-styled wedding gown, a design of the costumer for the Austrian National Theaters. Another wild wedding gown topped by a military cap. These daring sides are strictly for the peekaboo-type bride, but interesting. And this one is perfect if the groom happens to be an Asiatic Indian. It's proof positive that Viennese couture with no schmaltz is a long way from the Strauss waltz.
Are you a fan of 60s rock and roll? Well, this next newsreel falls a bit short of that.
Gather round, music lovers. We have a treat just for you. In Paris, music of the future, it says here, makes its debut. A symphony for sheets, steel, and glass tubes. The ushers will now pass among you and hand out the earplugs.
Some men, when they reach maturity, stand on their own 2 feet. But not Lucky Hoffmeyer of Regensburg, Germany, who plans to walk this way from his hometown to Rome. He's a distance walker. And the distance just happens to be 683 miles. The whole stunt was prompted by a bet which Lucky plans to win. Averaging 18 miles a day, he should get to the Via Veneto in 38 days, if he has the traffic lights with him.
Here's just one of today's newsreels that includes 60s fashion that features the lovely Sandra Dee.
The rich look may well be the new look in fashions as a result of Hollywood designer Jean-Louis' latest effort. Assigned to create a $1 million wardrobe for the richest girl in the world, Sandra Dee playing the role in I'd Rather Be Rich, he outdoes himself. What could be more glamorous than the luster and sparkle of diamonds on an evening gown? Here, Sandra, wearing part of a $1 million jewel collection from Cartier's, is all a-glitter in a heavy white satin gown encrusted with pink crystals. The ladies may be interested in details, the long sleeves and skirt, the cummerbund, the beaded top. More sophisticated is what Jean-Louis calls the diamond dress, a sleeveless sheath of jersey covered with a pattern of sparkling crystals. The skirt has a solid band of beading from knee to hemline. Even the shoes and bag are jewel encrusted. Shades of the Taj Mahal. What could have a richer look than this at-home outfit featuring a Rajah's coat and tapered trousers, resplendent with gold threads woven in an intricate oriental design? Just the thing to wear when the gang drops in for pretzels and beer. Or for a casual evening of lounging, these red velvet hostess pajamas with leopard fur cape lined in black velvet. Designed, no doubt, to bring out the tiger in a man.
One of America's most popular emissaries gets a warm reception as he arrives in the troubled Congo on a State Department-sponsored goodwill mission. Louie SATCHMO Armstrong, whose golden trumpet has preached the gospel of New Orleans jazz on every continent, arrives in truly royal style. Louie's solid swinging outraged Radio Moscow, which blasted Armstrong's visit as a diversionary tactic, a left-handed tribute to a mellow cat the Congolese find right on the beam.
Let's not monkey around. We'll get straight to the point. If humans go on the town for New Year's, why not chimpanzees? In London, anything goes when a bunch of the boys whoop it up. But when they partake of the grape, it hasn't had time to get fermented. When the inner man is satisfied, it's time to turn to the more aesthetic things of life, like playing Old Lang Syne with a rock and roll beat. This mob may not drum up enough business to compete with the Beatles, but one thing is sure, they had better rewrite that cliche that music soothes the savage beast. If this din is dinner music, I'm going on a diet.
From Italy, more 60s fashion.
Ready-to-wear couture in the Pitti Palace Ballroom includes togas, banners, and goggle-eyed girls and girl watchers. Shifts with natural waistlines are still in, and the hemline is short but not mini. Pino Lancetti's velvet gowns with prints as big and bold as the hairstyles. Pucci prints, long a favorite, topped by a twin hoop hairdressing. Goils with coils. Compared with last season, coats are fuller, belted, and come with gaily printed linings. This by Gregoriana. Of course, Doggy's coat is always in fashion. A matching print coat and dress outfit with belt in back. A reluctant dragon? A tailored coat and corkscrew kooky hat for a finale. This boutique is aimed at the middle range buyer, and we men are headed for quite a fall.
The answer for the fishermen who want to get where the fish are and get there in a hurry may be the gyrocopter, which is what inventor Igor Benson calls his airborne runabout. It's as easy to operate as an outboard motorboat, but has a far wider range. Motor and blade have been checked, fishing tackle safely stowed, and now our flying fisherman gets himself squared away. It takes about the distance of a football field for the gyro to take off, but after that, the sky is literally the limit. That plus the fuel supply. The machine carries a load of 250 pounds, including the pilot. Future models are planned for 3 passengers. The braking devices allow the little copter to land in a scant 80 feet of water. What it does to the other man's fishing can only be imagined. If there are no fish, it's easy enough to try another county. But luck is with him, right here. Want to get away from it all? Well, here's your transportation, a buggy that will go anywhere. They call it the Marsh Amphibian, a new vehicle of war that is being tested by the Department of Defense in the rugged backwater country of Mississippi. 2 buoyant screws on either side propel the strange craft on land or water, and swamps present no problem at all. It will carry you through thick and thin without complaint. A motorist would have little trouble learning to handle this 14-foot swamp buggy that is designed to carry a half ton of supplies or passengers. Although it is primarily an Army vehicle, it has its civilian possibilities. How about it? Would you like to order one for your next duck hunting trip?
Thank you for watching. Here is the promised story of an actual newsreel cameraman telling how he faked the news.
The bulletproof cloth was, of course, that was unbelievable. The bulletproof cloth consisted of nothing more than a white pair of coveralls.
Using a low-power air rifle and pretending to drill and saw the cloth, Mike put together an outlandish story that was swallowed by an Army officer who actually wrote for details on the cloth.
Now, if I were to ask how I happen to think of it, I can't answer it. Those thoughts just come automatically. Of the variety of sharpshooting newsreel stories that I managed to get out through the 30s, I decided on using a little girl around 6 years old, and I decided to pick on my first cousin, who at that time was living in Michigan. And she had never had a gun in her hand at all.
Betty Lou Giffinger, a big shot, even though she's only a little girl. Her ability is even more remarkable when you consider the terrific pressure behind a cannon like that and how she seems to have solved the problem of recoil. She picked it up quite by accident, and she's not a bit spoiled by her new fame. As a matter of fact, she doesn't like it. She'd rather play with her doll than go shooting at it. Even the cameraman has a lot of confidence in her. Whoops! He missed. But just once. After all, she's only 5 and she makes up for it. He'll be a champ when she grows up, sure as shooting.
Mike's 82-year-old grandmother was another sharpshooter. According to Universal's description, she vied in her early days in Texas with Calamity Jane and Annie Oakley. The filming technique was the same. A drop of oil was placed in her pistol to make it smoke, and the light bulbs, held by her grandchildren, were shot by a rifle out of camera range.
The thought had come to me, how could I really make a story on our high-level bridge under construction? And a bridge is a bridge, and there are very few bridges that would stand out nationally as being worthy of a national newsreel release. So, as time passed, I kept giving it thought how I could improve the value of a national release, show the bridge, and put some unusual human interest, and that's how I got the idea of using the chorus girls. It was kind of hard for him to get any kind of rhythm without any sound. You know, this picture makes me laugh. I can't comment on it. You should have showed me the picture first. Well, today it would take a hell of a lot of nerve, wouldn't it? I don't think you could get construction people to go along with you today, let alone people on the stage. See, those were the years where everybody was flexible.